So this clock will start the countdown of this video. This stopwatch I'm presently using to time the drying time of my laundry, and these holes shown here from 1 to 10 are my previous stopwatch holders. So this one you see here is clipped on to the number 7 stopwatch. So at one point, or to summarize quickly, number 8 clip is to my eraser clip, which doesn't really work very good. It's better to use these pencils and buy your own replaceable white eraser tips. And number 9 presently is being used for my hand stopwatch counter, which I have 2 of. And this last count here shows the number of in-print hieroglyphs available on the internet presently. So at one point in my 20s, I had over 13 active stopwatches going, and I would simultaneously record up to 13 different things at once, just like I'm recording 2 things at once here. So this brings me to the fact that of all humans that I know of, only myself and good old John Stewart here, who was a colonel in India. He was English born, was stationed in India, called Walking Stewart, and in Christian year 1792 he was defined as a slightly unhinged genius in 1792. So 3 years before this, he published Moral Motion, the moral state of nations, or travels over the most interesting part of the globe to discover the source of moral motion. So the dating system shown here is that in the year 1789, after the birth of Jesus, or 166 years before atoms were seen, or 5,000 years retrospective knowledge as Stewart defined things, after the oldest, the 0 years defined as the oldest date of eclipse scenes in Chinese astronomical tables. Here's his works page. This is works by the printer. Here we come to the date. So Stewart published The Moral State of Nations in 1790 by the cover date, or 5,000 years post retrospective knowledge by astronomical calculations, year of the Common Era. This means years after birth of Jesus, common to the people in England. There's his advertisement, contents, vocabulary, Machiavellian, Origin of the Phoenix, Invocation to Truth, Dedication to the Child of Nature. Well, here's the preface. In a disposition of mind interested in the happiness of all animate matter. So that's the point of view of his entire book. After walking on foot over the entire globe to discover the source of moral motion. So if you've been following along with alphanumerics, you'll know that A equals 1 in Egyptian, N equals 50 in Egyptian. This is the end bend of the Nile River. This is the Ho. This is the part for digging. That's a rope between two sticks. N is the end bend of the Nile River. I stands for the 10 value of the sun, and M stands for the Sith, or an M-shaped blade. So this is what is called a flintstone, carved sharp from 6,000 years ago, and this is an M-shaped wooden handle, and this gives us the letter M. And this is the Egyptian Ho. This gives letter I. And N is the end bend of the Nile River. The Nile comes down here like this. And there is a river branch that goes like this, past the third cataract. And this is where letter N comes from. And I is difficult to draw, but it has something to do with this squiggle line here. Because the original Greek ends were drawn as vertical zigzags. And this value of 101 is the value of Ra. And this is the sun, which is a ram horn. And then A is the Ho. This is for digging. So the sun powers the system of the earth, and the first thing you do in the year is to dig in the ground to plant crops. So this is all. So when you talk about animate matter, there's earth, air, water, and fire according to the Empedoclean view. And so you see here I've talked for 8 minutes and 32 seconds. So to wrap things up, the point of this is that time moves pretty fast. And that if you don't slow down and look around once in a while, like John Stewart or myself, who published the After Elementum dating system, the second English book ever published. Copyrights published in 66 Earth rotations around the sun since atoms were seen, by Irwin Muir.